PD, just getting ready for this moment. Obviously not the way you want, right? Because Willie's a good player, a great defender, a good at bat, but he'll be here and, we're excited. It's a big day for the organization. But like I said, it's not the perfect way of doing it, but he's here.
I so disagree with everything Alex Cora just said there, and that was Cora a few minutes ago over at Fenway Park on the call-up of Roman Anthony. And I don't want this to be the theme of the program tonight, the negative, because this is not a negative day for the Red Sox. This is a great day for the Red Sox and a great day to be a Red Sox fan, and you have not had many of those in recent years. So I am not going to crap all over it, that's for sure. But, Alex, don't give me that crap. Oh, this isn't the way we wanted to call him up. It's exactly the way you wanted to call him up. It was the only way you were going to call him up. You have been manipulating the kid's service time forever now. And it took a Wilyer Abreu injury, took an injury to a left-handed hitting outfielder for them to finally bring this kid up. The whole, we're trying to win baseball games. If you were trying to win baseball games, he would have been up a month and a half ago. Don't give me that crap. I'm sorry. Man, the amount of crap that team feeds you on a daily basis. Guys, just shoot me straight. Shoot the fans straight. The fans here are smart. This is not some podunk city where the fans don't know anything. The fans here are smart. You talk down to them. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, we're trying to win baseball games. Really? If you were really trying to win baseball games, why is the best prospect of your big three the last to come up? Because you've been manipulating the service time. That's why. I'm sorry. I needed to start there after hearing that. The Red Sox remain the Red Sox. That's it, though. That's it for that. We'll just get that off the top. It's Matt McCarthy in for Tony Mazz tonight. We will go to you early and often, 617-779-0985. We can talk about why Roman Anthony wasn't up here before. We'll address it. We just addressed it there. We can criticize them for waiting for an injury. We just did that there. There are no doubt a lot of things the Red Sox have done wrong along the way. That's still not the lead story tonight. It's not. This is a huge day. This is a huge day for the Red Sox. It's a huge day for Red Sox fans. This is a dividing line kind of day. It's the day we've been waiting for. They've been waiting too long for. And rightfully so. I generally, if you know me at all, try to tell you to pump the brakes on prospects. I love prospects. I follow the minor leagues. I go to games. All that. Most prospects fail. They do. So understanding that, let's try not to get too excited about it. In fact, I was on the day that Marcelo Meyer was called up. I told you to pump the brakes on him on that day because I think Marcelo Meyer is a kind of a high floor player, but he's a low ceiling player. I think he's going to be a good big leaguer. I don't think he's Corey Seager. So I told you that with Meyer. I was right there with Mazz on opening day telling you that Christian Campbell wasn't ready. Christian Campbell wasn't ready. So I have a long and documented history of telling you to pump the brakes on these kids. Not Roman Anthony. Nope. Sorry. He's different. He's special. The sky's the limit for this kid. He is the number one prospect in baseball for a reason. And far be it from me to tell you why it's not going to work out. No, it's going to work out with this kid. And it shouldn't have taken so long to get there. This is the future. The future has arrived truly for the Boston Red Sox today. June 9th, 2025. Their entire franchise has been built around these three kids, or the prospects, going back 5 years now. And every time we push the Red Sox, be it the fans, the media, us here on the Sports Hub, every time we said, why aren't you improving this team? Why aren't you making them better? Why is it so much about the future? They would respond with something to the effect of, well, we need to be responsible. We have so many great prospects. I mean, they've been putting these kids out there for years at Winter Weekend and Fan Fest and Fenway Fest and whatever it is. When you're there and booing the general manager and booing the owner and yelling at them, they're putting the kids out there. This is the future. Everything about the franchise has revolved around this day where the kids are all here. And tonight in the lineup for the Boston Red Sox, batting fifth, playing right field, Roman Anthony. Batting sixth, playing second base, Christian Campbell. Batting seventh, playing third base, Marcelo Meyer. Back to back to back. The future has arrived. Finally. After a half decade of hearing about this, it's here. And that's cause for celebration. This is a great day to be a Red Sox fan. It has generated buzz. Of course it has. We've been hearing about this kid for a long time, rightfully so. Of the three kids, though, he's the best. Which, again, of course he was the last they called up because the Red Sox can't get anything right. But he's here now. He's here now. And I worry about what that means for him and for Meyer and for Campbell. Because the Red Sox have put so much on their plate. They have put the entire fate of the franchise on the shoulders of these kids. This is it. This is their identity. I'm sorry, for the last 5 years, the identity of the Boston Red Sox has been Marcelo Meyer. It has been Roman Anthony. It has been the prospects. And they haven't been here. And now they are. And I think that's too much to ask. Even of the best prospect in baseball. Even of a guy who I think is as close to can't miss as you can get. And I think Roman Anthony is that guy. But you're asking him to fix the franchise. You are asking him to be the savior. Because Roman Anthony's coming up tonight and he's batting fifth. Ideally, he'd be batting eighth. And you wouldn't be relying on three kids at once. You'd be relying on one kid at once. But that's not the path the Red Sox have chosen. It was a deliberate path that the Red Sox went down to put the entire future of the franchise on the shoulders of these three kids. And they're all here now. So, as unfair as it may be, the question that we will all ask, is Roman Anthony the savior of the Red Sox? The answer to that is, he has to be. He has to be. That's what the Red Sox have wanted. And let's see if they're right. Let's see if they're right. Let's see if this kid is, is a top 5 player in baseball. Because that's how they've built their entire team. They think he's a top 5 player in baseball. And he has the skill and the ability to be a top 5 type player in baseball. Now you got to go out there and do it. Not right away, but you better be pretty damn good because you're batting fifth. And for a team that has talked so much about, we'll compete when the kids are here and on the timeline and thinking about the future and the sustainable product. They're all here now. So it's time to go win a World Series. Which you might say, McCarthy, you're crazy. This Red Sox roster isn't ready to win a World Series. Have you seen the pitching staff? And you're right about that. You're right about all of that. But when I was told that it's all about the timeline of the prospects, here they are. It's go time. That's the story tonight. It's go time for the Boston Red Sox. And I don't think they're ready to go. 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, be damned. I don't think they're ready to go. I don't think they're there. You're bringing these kids into a broken clubhouse with a manager who is manipulative and has not done best by the team this year. What's Roman Anthony going to learn from Rafael Devers not helping out the team? What's Roman Anthony going to learn from Alex Cora not approaching Rafael Devers, abdicating all of his responsibilities? A lot of you don't like the way Breslow's handled things. Well, okay, what's Roman Anthony going to learn in these kids? How is that going to affect these kids? I don't feel great about the environment they're being brought up into, but maybe it's true. Maybe they are the saviors. I've never truly bought it because that's a lot to put on some young players, but it's what the Red Sox have put on them. And today's the day that the future has begun. Let's not understate how important and how big and how massive this day is for the narrative surrounding the team. They're here. Roman Anthony's here. So it's time to go. One open phone line. Grab it. 617-779-0985. Get to you next. But Jimmy, let me just leave you with this because I know you're a baseball history type of guy. Roman Anthony's playing right field tonight, which I will get to later on in the program. Going back to 1939, the Red Sox have had in left field Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, Jim Rice, Manny Ramirez, and now you hope for the next 14 years until he's 35 years old, because the kid's only 21, Roman Anthony.
You skipped one.
Mike Greenwell.
Mike Greenwell.
I had to do that just for you, Jimmy.
And Phil Plantier was going to be the one to replace him.
So maybe Roman Anthony's Phil Plantier. I don't think he is, but maybe he is.
Does he have a squatty batting stance?
He definitely does not. It's much more upright and erect, which is what I've been since about 4 o'clock today.
Nice.
The world feels right when the Red Sox have a premier left fielder. It's just one of those things in sports. You know, like the Steelers having a great linebacker. The Red Sox having a great right fielder. Left fielder. Freudian slip there because he's playing right field tonight, which we'll get into. Are the Red Sox going to find a way to make this kid's life as difficult as possible? 617-779-0985. Matt McCarthy in for Tony Mazz on a great night. A great night to be a Red Sox fan. We'll tell you one of the wrong things about it next.
I'm comfortable. I've played there quite a bit in the minor leagues. Obviously, more left, more center, more left as of recently. But it doesn't matter to me. I'm here, and I'm going to try and help this team win, no matter where that is. And I'm just excited that I'm able to be a part of it, whether that's in right, left, or center.
Hey, totally the right answer from Roman Anthony. Asked a few minutes ago about playing right field by Sean McAdam and Mazz Live. And just a real tip of the cap to the folks at Mazz Live today who were the first to break this story. It started in Worcester with Katie Morrison-O'Day, who covers the Woo Sox. She had apparently noticed Roman Anthony not boarding the team bus. Got the word into Cotillo and Chris Smith at Fenway Park. They ran it up the ladder down there, and they were the first. They broke it. And Katie Morrison-O'Day and Ashley Green, who cover the Woo Sox, were the ones getting the footage outside as he left Worcester.
Roman, are you headed up? Oh, my God. Congratulations, bud. Have fun.
So good reporting. Really good reporting there, and a tip of the cap to everybody involved in that. And a good question from Sean McAdam asking, you feel comfortable in right field, which is where Roman Anthony's going to be playing tonight. Jimmy, the last time Roman Anthony played right field in Worcester was May 2nd. He is not a right fielder. He is a left fielder. Can he do it? Can he get away with it? Yeah, sure, fine. He says, I feel comfortable wherever. You're putting him in right field at Fenway Park, which is undeniably the toughest right field to play in all of baseball. It's not rocket science, but can you help the kid out? Put him in left field where he's going to play for the next 7 years, and then hopefully you re-sign him, and hopefully he's here through 2039. You can do the 100-year thing from Ted to Roman and all that stuff. Put him in left field where he belongs. Help the kid out. For a team that has been so focused on the prospects, obsessed with the prospects, as we outlined in the first segment tonight, the entire future of the franchise is being put on these kids' shoulders. For a team that's so into it, they keep screwing around with these kids. Put him in left field where he belongs. Don't put him in right field at Fenway Park. Put Rafaela there. Put Duran in center. Anthony in left. Set it and forget it. They're moving Campbell around. They're moving Meyer around, which isn't as big a deal because shortstop to third base. But you get the picture. Now you're moving Roman Anthony. I thought it was all about the kids. And then they get here, and it's not all about the kids. And we'll start Marcelo Meyer in his first big league game against a lefty, and then we won't play him against lefties because we won't let him face lefties, except in his big league debut when he gets called up from Worcester 2 hours before first pitch and doesn't have a chance to do BP or take back, field ground balls or anything like that. For a team that's so much about the kids, they don't do enough to help them. And you know what? Keeping Roman Anthony in Worcester up until this point didn't help him either. He beat AAA 2 months ago, facing junk pitchers that are not big leaguers, 4A guys, and it took until an injury to call him up because you're manipulating the service time, which doesn't help the player development. It was not a player development decision to keep him in Worcester. It was a money decision to keep him in Worcester. God, just help the kids out. The little things this organization does so poorly. Putting him in right field, you got to be kidding me with that. But he's in the lineup tonight, and it is a good day. It's a good day to be a Red Sox fan. 617-779-0985. To lead us off tonight, we've got Gino in the car. Hey, Gino, it's Matt McCarthy in for Mazz on the Baseball Hour.
Hey, Matt, what's up? So I'm just thinking about, when eventually things do come back with the players being healthy that are on the IL right now. I think it's almost safe to expect some roster shakeups when everyone becomes healthy. Now, I don't know if that would be Duran and then obviously either trading or releasing Story, but something does have to give when Bregman comes back and when Willie Abreu comes back. So, I'm kind of wondering, is it kind of just safe to assume at this point that we're going to see some roster moves because of this?
Yeah, I mean, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, Gino. because it's baseball. It's a 162-game season, and, things will change. That being said, your point about Duran is well taken. He's not a part of the future, folks. He's not. So the question is, when does the Jarren Duran trade happen? Or when does the Wilyer Abreu trade happen? I would prefer to move Duran because he's more valuable. You will get more in return for him. You will get something that you don't have. Again, Roman Anthony's not a right fielder. He's a left fielder. I mean, Breslow said 2 weeks ago, and I'm paraphrasing, his defense sucks. Which they were using that as one of the excuses as to why they were keeping him in Worcester.
And he hits too many ground balls.
Apparently, that's a major knock on Roman Anthony, and he doesn't do enough damage on non-fastballs in the zone. I mean, despite the fact that the guy batted .300 with a 1,000 OPS and was hitting 500-foot home runs, despite that, there were baseball reasons he wasn't up here, for sure. Let me tell you the thing about Anthony. He's not going to win a Gold Glove in the outfield. He's not a butcher. He's not that. He'll be perfectly fine. You put him in left field at Fenway Park, where the greatest hitters in the history of the Red Sox have played, and you set it and forget it. So you move Duran to center, but Duran isn't a great center fielder. I don't care what the metrics say. I use my eyes. He's not a great center fielder. Rafael is their best defender on a team that can't defend, so he's valuable to you. Abreu is one of the few guys in the organization who can play right field at Fenway Park on a nightly basis. I'm going to tell you right now, Roman Anthony probably isn't that guy. Never say never. Maybe he looks great there tonight and right field's his spot. I'm telling you, he's a left fielder. He is. So who's going? To me, it's Duran. My guess is they're not bold enough to make that happen in the regular season. But they should be. Anthony's up. He's the future. The future has arrived. He doesn't fix your pitching staff. If you're serious about contending and competing right now, which is what I've been told, that when the kids arrive, that's when we compete. That's when we contend. How are you going to contend with this pitching staff? The answer is you're not going to. So somebody needs to go. A bat for an arm. Duran's the guy. Duran's the guy that I would move. No way they do it in the regular season. They should. That's probably more of an off-season discussion.
Not necessarily, Matt. I mean, if their percentage, if their chance to make the playoffs is like 15%, which I think it is now, then why not? I think they tried to trade Duran during the offseason.
As they should have. Coming off, a season where he got MVP votes, Jarren Duran is a really good baseball player. He's not that.
And by the way, if he's a leader on this team, shouldn't he volunteer to move positions in the outfield to make the new franchise star comfortable, where he's a left fielder, where Anthony is a left fielder? Shouldn't Duran volunteer to move to center field or right field?
Well, I've heard that Jarren Duran is a leader and he's an important guy in that clubhouse, and all of those things are true. I would say he's also leading a team that's 3 games under 500.
I'm just saying, I keep being told that he's a team leader, so team leaders make adjustments to make others comfortable, do they not?
I would say the Red Sox need a major culture change, and I would actually look to remove some of the members of the leadership group. And it's unfair to Jarren Duran, because I do think he's a positive force and all of those things. And I think he's a good baseball player, but sometimes you need to change things just to change things, especially when the better player has just been called up and is eventually going to take your job. Roman Anthony will be the left fielder of the Boston Red Sox for, you hope, 15 years or something close to it.
It'll be 5, maybe 6 if they're lucky.
You're right, because they manipulated the service time and they won't pay him.
They're already worried about paying him at age 27, so.
Yep, and that's why he hasn't been up until now.
And don't be surprised if he goes back down once Abreu comes off the IL.
That I don't buy.
Oh, I do.
That's not
I think they'll send Mayer back down when Bregman's ready too.
So, because they love Trevor Story so much. I could see Campbell going back down. I could see Meyer going to second and Bregman playing third, and they'll never, ever, ever take precious Trevor Story out of the lineup. They certainly won't do that. Anthony's here to stay. He is. But, what happens? Rafaela goes to the infield. There are a million things that can happen. They love platooning. Alex Cora is obsessed with the platoon. By the way, I guarantee you Roman Anthony gets the same treatment Marcelo Meyer is getting. He's not going to hit against lefties.
Then why bother?
I agree. Meyer and Anthony should both face some lefties. Not all, some. You're facing Max Fried? Okay, yeah. Maybe you sit him down. That's a night to spell him. You're facing Ryan Yarbrough? Play the kids. 617-779-0985. How about we go to... Why'd my call screener freeze? How about Dean in Shrewsbury? Hi, Dean.
Hey, I agree with you. Duran's a person to go, but I would say they were going for the winning. Duran was fourth in the league in WAR last year. Rafael is so good at defense. He's top 25 in the league. Wilyer Abreu was a Gold Glove right fielder last year, and he has 13 home runs. So I think they were going for the winning in those terms. Mayer should have been up here instead of Story from the very beginning, but I don't think Anthony brings as much value as those guys. But now that we're behind, I would move Duran for a right-handed pitcher that's young and signed for a long time.
Yeah, Dean, Roman Anthony is one of the 9 best position players in the Boston Red Sox organization and has been since day one. So I disagree that keeping Roman Anthony in Worcester was them trying to win. It was not. There were a million ways to get Anthony's bat in the lineup. Most notably, Rafael Devers going to first base or going to third base when Bregman got hurt and opening up DH at least part of the week for Anthony to rotate through there, and then you rotate Anthony to the outfield, and Duran goes to center, and Rafaela sits or goes to second base. There were a million ways to get Roman Anthony in the lineup, and it did not require Wilyer Abreu getting hurt. Don't buy that line of crap you heard from Alex Cora. He's up here because we want to win ball games. Well, if you really, really, really felt that way and didn't prioritize the service time manipulation over it, he would have been up here 2 months ago. Fact. 617-779-0985. Speaking of Rafael Devers, this is a Roman Anthony-centric show tonight, but comments made on the Sunday Night Baseball broadcast last night about Devers' potential willingness to move back to the field, which does tie into Roman Anthony. We'll get into all of that next. A couple open phone lines. It's a good opportunity to jump on. Grab them. 617-779-0985. Quick update. Right back with you. It's McCarthy in for Mazz on the Baseball Hour.
agreed to play first base, it would open a clear path for Anthony to be in the big leagues.
I agree, but I'll tell you this. The Boston Red Sox, even with Rafael Devers at third, could have easily won a championship as well. And you could have still left Bregman if needed at second after having signed him. Last year, Max Muncy with the Dodgers. I get it. He's not the best defender at third, but you know what? The offense also takes over.
Yeah, most people that follow the Red Sox, cover them, root for them, figure they're going to have to trade an outfielder. I mean, they have an exorbitant number of good young outfielders. Abreu, who we just saw.
That's elite defense, too.
Duran's another one whose name has been kicked around here recently. But Alex Cora beat the drum of, we got to get runs. We need to score runs. We need to win games. There's a difference. The Yankees have won a lot of games. The Dodgers win games. There have been years where the Red Sox have won games. But if the development piece is on the development of the player, where's the learning to win? Is that sacrificed?
It's a great point.
So the logjam, first off, Devers choosing not to play first base, that creates one complication. And, of course, the contracts are another. Christian Campbell signed a long-term deal. Rafael signed a long-term deal that probably clinches even tough times the fact that they're going to stay in the big leagues.
This one goes to the seats. Pretty team-friendly deals.
Well, he's not the number one Red Sox prospect. Roman Anthony's the number one prospect in the whole game, in all of Major League Baseball. It's a different level of prospect.
And just to be clear, and I understand it's all eyes on Devers not wanting to play first, but it all eyes on miscommunication as well. Because if they would have communicated better, I believe that Rafael Devers would have said, no problem, I'll go to first, but they did not.
Oh, that's the money drop there at the end from Eduardo Perez. We know that it's a Sunday Night Baseball broadcast. We know Alex Cora is thick as thieves with all those guys based on the ESPN connections. Perez going back to Puerto Rico with Cora, you name it. Those guys are tight. And they blame everything there essentially on Craig Breslow. At least Perez does. Oh, the miscommunication. Well, if they had just approached Rafael Devers before, because Buster Olney keeps going back to this point. You know, if Devers would just play the field, that would open up a spot for Roman Anthony, who as of last night had not been called up. He gets called up today, all because Wilyer Abreu goes on the injured list. That is the reason that Anthony is up here. And Perez says, whoa, yeah. But it's the front office's fault. It's definitely not Alex's fault. It's definitely not Rafi's fault. If they had just approached him, he would have, been so much nicer about this, which is such a load of crap. You've got to be kidding me with that. That right there is carrying the water for the Alex Cora side of things. So Cora says today, hey, Roman Anthony's up here because we want to win baseball games. BS. If you wanted to win baseball games, you would have gone to Rafael Devers and said, we need you to go play first base, or we need you to play third, Bregman's hurt. But Cora doesn't want to do that. Can't do it. Can't be bothered. It's going to make the GM go and do it, and then blame the GM to his friends on Sunday Night Baseball. This is the environment that you're bringing Roman Anthony and these young kids up into. You want to talk about increasing the likelihood that you screw them up? That right there. Along with other stuff like playing him out of position, which is what they're doing tonight and what they've done to Campbell all year. Because before Roman Anthony got called up today, before they found out Abreu was going on the injured list, they were putting Christian Campbell in center field because they just love screwing with that kid. And Marcelo Meyer's still playing third base when he should be playing shortstop because he's the shortstop of the future. But, oh God, we can't move away from precious Trevor Story. Can't do it. They do the little things. They do the little things wrong. And it's a bad culture. And thank God you have something to be excited about as a Red Sox fan in the call-up of Roman Anthony today. And hopefully he overcomes all that stuff. He has the talent to, for sure. How about Steve in the car? Hold on there, Steve. You're up next. McCarthy in for Mazz. Hey, Steve.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Well, Matt, thank you for that nice little dose of sunshine at the end of that rant because when I listened to the first 20 minutes, I was positive when I saw Roman Anthony got called up, but in reality, apparently everything's terrible and it all sucks.
Well, hold on now, Steve. But I did spend a lot of the first segment talking about what a great day this is for the Red Sox, and
you did. You absolutely did.
And that's the lead story. But I see a lot of things that the Red Sox are doing wrong with this situation that I think need to be called out.
Yeah, and I agree. And I think one of the things that you just talked about, which I just don't think gets enough attention, I think it did for a bit, but now he's sort of gotten a stay of execution, is the Trevor Story piece. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why any pitcher in baseball throws him a breaking ball. Don't. If you can throw 95 mile an hour or above, throw him fastballs. He will not be able to hit it. He will swing right through it. That is a guy that has proven and has shown throughout the entire season that whatever he had in Colorado, or whatever people thought he had in Colorado, no longer exists. He should not be in the lineup on a consistent day-to-day basis. And the fact that they are continuing to push him out there is mind-boggling to me. And for me, I think that's, outside of the Devers stuff, I think that's the biggest indictment of this team.
Yeah, and I'll let you go on that, Steve. Thanks for the call. It's a great point. Yeah, he's one of Cora's guys. Devers is one of Cora's guys. Story is one of Cora's guys. And Story has gotten away with murder this year. And he had a good weekend. You're right. It's not going to last. What's sustainable about that Yankee series and what isn't? That's what we need to ask ourselves responsibly. What's sustainable? Carlos Narvaez, I think that's sustainable. That kid's been a hell of a player. It's a steal. Absolute steal. I think that's sustainable. Devers continuing to hit. That's sustainable, especially as a designated hitter. There is that benefit to it, no doubt about it. The starting pitching, it's a wreck. The bullpen, it's a wreck. And Trevor Story getting hot for a week, which is what he's done, guarantee you he'll be hot for another week. And then he'll go hitless for the next month, because that's who Trevor Story is. But we can't get rid of him. Can't let Marcelo Meyer play shortstop. Can't hand him the job after Story lost the job. And we can't put Rafael in right and Duran in center and put Anthony in left and just put the kid in the best possible position to succeed by putting him at his actual position. Same thing with Campbell. It's an issue with this team. They do the little things wrong. I believe in Roman Anthony. I think the kid's a stud. I don't believe in the Red Sox. Both of those things can be true, and both of those things are the story tonight. It's a tremendous day to be a Red Sox fan. It is so exciting. I'm debating if I should stay here to watch his first at-bat, get in the car and try to get home in time for it. That's a real debate for me, Jimmy, but that's how excited I am as a Red Sox fan. But let's call out the things that they've done wrong with it, too, because there are a lot of them, for sure. 617-779-0985. How about Anthony in Scottsdale? Anthony!
What's up, Matt? Just a quick question for you. Totally on board with, moving Duran at some point, but, what do you think's a realistic kind of trade that we could look into as far as, maybe beefing up that pitching staff? That's all I got. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, have I looked exactly into who might be available? No, but the profile of the deal is Duran for a cost-controlled pitcher. You go back to the Seattle, trades floated around this offseason, Duran for George Kirby. Find a team that has a, surplus of pitching and needs a hitter. So, that is something I would revisit. Give me any of those young Seattle starters.
How about Duran to San Diego in a package for Dylan Cease?
The only problem with that is, isn't Cease a free agent at the end of this year?
Maybe you re-sign him to a contract.
Wouldn't that be nice?
The problem, though, Matt, is that pitchers have become running backs. You need them. You need to pay the great ones, but that's why you see a lot of one-year deals, 2-year deals for pitchers, is because they can't hold up.
Yeah. You're so right. They value pitchers, but they don't want to pay pitchers, which I get. Sometimes you just have to do it, though. I mean, they did it with Crochet. Does anybody regret that? That's the type of deal that you need to find. You need to find, and listen, Garrett Crochet does not grow on trees. So I will answer this better at a better time when I can, look around baseball, see who potentially might be available, has team control, because I'm telling you, those guys are dime a dozen. You know, a pitcher with team control that a team is willing to give up. I thought Seattle was a perfect fit this offseason given that they need more hitters. You know, maybe there's still a deal to be made there. I love Gilbert. I love Kirby. Brian Wu, sure, why not? A guy like Cease makes sense if you were going to re-sign him. I just don't think you're going to re-sign him. But you do want to trade a bat for an arm because you have too many bats. So that's a discussion that we need to have moving forward. I think it's probably more of an off-season discussion. And then we can really dive into the nitty-gritty. Who's going to be available? It's also June 9th. We don't know who's going to be available. Nobody's available in baseball on June 9th. It's not the way it once was. It's not Byung-Hyun Kim at the end of May.
Is Rich Hill available?
Rich Hill is available. Did you see that story today? He's pitching in AAA for Kansas City. I'm going to take a pass on the Rich Hill thing again. But he's my guy. I love Rich Hill. I need a lefty who throws more than 81 at this point. I do love a soft-tossing, wily, smart lefty. I do like that. I see on the phone line, we'll take care of you. More thoughts on Roman Anthony and the state of the Red Sox coming your way next with McCarthy and for Mazz on the Baseball Hour. I like it. That's a nice little moment right there. That's a good moment to be a Red Sox fan. Now they just better all be good.
You better hope that they're not Pulsifer, Isringhausen, and Paul Wilson of the Mets.
Isringhausen went on to have a pretty good career.
As a closer, not a starter.
Not a starter. The Red Sox have obviously been running a huge risk for many years that they've overrated these kids. We're going to find out. The future has arrived. And, Jimmy, should we be fair to these kids and give them a lot of leash?
I think we should treat them like the 2014 call-ups of JBJ, Betts, and who else was part of that? Because Bogarts was already here. There was one more who was part of that.
Matt Barnes, Vasquez.
Yeah.
2014 was already a lost cause.
Exactly. So, I mean, they're, 15% chance to make the postseason? You're going to see a fire sale coming up here in June, I think.
This shouldn't be a lost cause. It shouldn't be. There's 6 playoff teams in each league. It's easier than ever before to make the playoffs in baseball. The American League blows. It shouldn't be a lost cause, but it might be a lost cause. So that's why I think I want to be fair to them. It's only reasonable for me to be fair to them. But the Red Sox have promised us the world with these kids. You better deliver.
But they're only here because of injury to Bregman and Willie Abreu, respectively.
You're not wrong about that.
They don't really believe in the kids. They just had to call them up because they had no other choice. I guess Nate Eaton wasn't available.
No, they believe in them, Jimmy. They just don't want to pay them. That's why Campbell's here, and that's why Meyer and Anthony started the year in Worcester. Contract. Jimmy, this has been fun. I will not soon forget. Again, this is the dividing line day for the Red Sox. This is it. The future has arrived. I will not soon forget that I got to spend it with you, Jimmy. It was a good time.
I appreciate you, Matt.
You know what, Stu? I acknowledge you. And I acknowledge Roman Anthony.
As the Empire.
As the Empire himself. I believe we have Mark Dondero coming our way next. I'm tired. Felger and Mazz, golf this morning. I'm going home. I'm going to watch Roman Anthony. How about that? What a night. What a night to be alive. Mazz will talk to you tomorrow. See ya.
From the Tell Your Time Studios, WBC